How's it going, guys? I'm sure since you're on this video, you know what I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to be reviewing 3 budget Sabers, RGB Sabers. 2 of these came off Amazon, 1 came off eBay. You can get them other places, I'm sure, and then you can get their unbranded, ungeneric ones on like AliExpress and Wish, and then some of them are sold on eBay as well. I'm gonna do this in order by their price, but I'm gonna give you their pricing and where I got them first, and then I'll go through and give you the rundown of each one. So the first one I'm going to start off with is the Saber Studio. The Saber Studio was $75 on Amazon, and it was sold by Saber Studio themselves. Then we have the YDD Genius series for, it was $93 after shipping and tax on eBay, and this is one of the authentic YDDs. They have the YDD Genius and then the YDD Ghost Premium, and they look exactly alike, but this is the Genius YDD. I got it on eBay for $93 after shipping and tax. And then I have the Kyber, not the Kyber Lite. This is just the Kyber Basic series that you can get on Amazon. Kyber Lite is a whole nother brand in itself, and they have their own site and everything. But this is the Amazon Kyber Basic series. I spent $125 after shipping and tax on this guy. So let's get into it, and I'm going to start off with the cheapest one. So the Saber Studio one, I'm going to start off with the cons. In fact, you may see some of the cons during this video, maybe not. I might get lucky and just be able to do a full review without running into issues. But I'm going to give you the honesty that y'all are all looking for. The cons of this thing is the speaker that is inside here does not sound good. It is loud, but it does not sound good. It sounds like a toy that comes out of, it sounds like a speaker in a toy from the 90s. It just doesn't have good sound quality. It sounds good on microphone. It sounds good. I mean, it sounds decent. You don't really notice it, but in person you notice it, and it just doesn't really sound all that great. The button likes to stick at random points, so when you're trying to turn it on, sometimes the button will stick and it'll turn itself back off. Or when you're trying to change your colors, when you're scrolling through your colors and you find the color that you want, it'll and you go to let go of the button, it'll stick and it'll just keep scrolling through the colors. So it's kind of a irritant right there. The LED light, I'm gonna get to the oh, one more con. It rattles really bad. There's something in there. I think it's just the speaker. I hope that's all it is. It rattles, and it's very loud. So, pros. The hilt is very weighted. It actually honestly feels pretty good. It feels very sturdy, like this thing can handle a true beating. I can vouch for that. This thing can handle a lot. The blade saber part that it came with is very sturdy. It can take full force swings almost. I don't know. I'm a small guy. I don't really have a lot of muscle. So for me, it could handle full force swing. For some people out there, maybe not so much, and you may need to chill out just a little bit. But it can handle some abuse. I will say that. The colors in it are very vibrant. They're very bright. They're great. It has 3 sound fonts, 1 mute mode. The site on Amazon said it has like 13 different colors or something like that, but you really have more than that because you can actually stop the color changing process whenever you want. So I'm going to start off with the sound fonts. You hold it for 3 seconds.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
And it changes the sound fonts. That's 1 sound font. Hold it for 3 seconds to turn it off. Hold it for 3 seconds. Change the sound font again. This is kind of like your standard Jedi sound font. Hold it for 3 seconds to turn it off. Hold it for another 3.
This is something else.
And this is the silent mode, which I prefer to keep it on because, like I said, I don't like the sound of this one. It sounds like a cheap 90s toy. So I prefer to keep this one on the silent mode. And then turn it off again. And then hold it for another 3 seconds.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
And this is kind of your Jedi or your Sith sound. So that's that. You do have the blaster deflect, and then you have blade lockup, and this is where it gets kind of tricky. You hold it for 2 seconds, the button, and then you click it again 1 time to get into blade lockup. So 1, 2, click. And then to stop it, you just click it. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and put it on a mute mode. Because again, it's just so loud. Then I'm going to show you the colors.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
This is something else.
Alright, so the colors are, to change the colors, I mean, you hold for 3 seconds and then you click it. Or you don't click it, my bad, let's redo that. You hold it for 3 seconds and then you let go and you hold it again, and it'll take some time, but it'll slowly start to change. That's the green, like light blue, then it goes into like the Skywalker blue, it goes to a teal blue, and it should go into like a purple ish, maybe not, this is like a pinkish color, and it goes back to a bluish color, it goes to purple, then magenta, then the red, and it starts over from that point. Gold, green, blue. I'm going to keep it at the blue. And to get out of the color changing selection mode, you have to click it and do the blaster, because if you don't do that and you go to try to turn it off, it will just keep scrolling through the colors. So you have to hit the blaster deflect to get it back out of the color changing option. I think that is pretty much it for this Saber. I think I covered everything in it. So I'm going to go to the next one. The next Saber. So to turn it off, 3 seconds, you're done. I did want to say that I did try to message Saber Studios about this issue that I had with the button sticking. You really kind of get what you pay for on sound. But the sticky button, I did try to contact Saber Studios themselves, and they weren't all that helpful about it, and they weren't really all that friendly about it. They were just kind of doubtful, and I wouldn't say they were rude, but they really didn't seem like they wanted to help me all that much on Amazon. So I'm gonna keep it, but I'm also gonna put out there that when it comes to customer support with them, they're not really that helpful. And I mean, if you're looking for good quality and good support, don't get this one. Now if you're just looking for a blade that has good color, you know, you just want a little stunt saber to play around with, this is pretty good. I do like it for the most part. I just wasn't impressed by customer support and some of the issues this saber had. It does look alright. It's about a foot long, the hilt is. Overall, I'd say it's about 3 feet, maybe 3 feet-ish. It's weighted over here. And yeah, that's that one. So, let's go on to the next saber. So this one, the YDD Genius, which I said $93 on eBay. It is the authentic one. The way you can tell it's the authentic is their charging ports are down here at the bottom. And on the unbranded, ungeneric ones, they're up here at the top, closer to the button, or up here somewhere in this section. The ungeneric ones are kind of a pro, because the ungeneric ones are a little bit longer. And then I'm pretty sure they have more rings, or less rings right here. This one itself has great quality speaker. It sounds really good. 3 sound fonts, 1 mute mode. This one does have a set amount of colors. I'm not sure what the number on it is. I'll put a link in the description for each one of these sabers and you can look at it yourself. Speaker sounds great. This thing is very bright, and before I go on with this, I do want to say, if you are prone to seizures or you have epilepsy, this one is not for you. The flash on clash, the blade lockup, the blaster deflect strobe very brightly, and they strobe on and off. You can't really see it on camera, but they do strobe, and it is very bright. So I do want to give that warning, because I just feel like it's appropriate, and I would rather someone know that before purchasing it and then something happen. But it is bright. The colors are very beautiful. The handle hilt design is just so awesome. I love it. This thing looks cool. It's light. It's very light, to the point when I got this thing, when it came in the mail, I was honestly kind of scared. I thought maybe they had like messed up and just sent me the blade, because this thing is so light. It really scared me. So 3 sound fonts. To get to the sound fonts, you hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2, 1, 2. Quiet mode. And then 1, 2. And then it's back to the regular sound font. So, sound font 1. Turn it off. You just click it to turn it off. This thing's pretty great. You just click it to turn it on, click it to turn it off. So 1, 2. Kind of a Sith Jedi sound. Turn it off. Now the third sound font, a lot of people I've seen on other YouTube reviews don't know what this sound font is, but if you're like me and you watch anime or you watch a lot of Japanese shows and stuff like that, you know what a sword clash or a samurai sounds like, you know. So, I'm just gonna say it's a samurai sword clashing sound. Sounds pretty cool. I don't know what the constant humming would be, but oopsie. The sound is definitely more like a samurai sword. So I'm going to turn it off, and then quiet mode. That is quiet mode. That is the sound font. Now I'm going to put it on the regular sound. Alright, so you do have blaster deflect. Just click it one time. And then you have blade lockup, which is, let me think about it. Hold it, click it twice. You click it twice. Do blade lockup. And then you click it one time to get it to stop. This one does have a vibrating button. It does not vibrate to your clicks. It just vibrates for like flash and then the blade lockup. And then, alright, so I do want to say this. If you could not tell, it goes to like yellow, then it'll go to the red. I have seemed to be the only person, and I say this because I don't want this to be one of those things that makes y'all not want to buy this Saber. I am literally the only person that has ran into this issue, which is why it's getting fixed. I'm still talking to the seller. When I go to change the color on this thing, it kind of wigs out. It'll go to one color and then it'll change itself to another. It's a little weird. I'm the only person, again, that has ran into this issue, I think. So don't let that deter you from buying this. I'm the only one that has ran into that issue, and it's just why the seller is so okay with helping me get this figured out. So you click it 3 times to change the color. That's a purple. Looks pretty good. Oops. Oops. It's kind of like a silver, white, light green. Kind of, I don't know, a light purple, light green, light red, kind of pinkish color. Click it 3 times again. Back to a pink, yellow, bluish. It's kind of wigging out. So, again, like I said, I think I'm the only person that's dealt with that issue. Back to a red and the green. So I'm gonna keep that one on green. That is the YDD Saber. Haven't had, other than that issue, I don't really have any complaints about this one individually. I do like this blade a lot. I do recommend it. It's not a bad buy for $93. I did want to say, my bad. I do recommend this. It is very nice. It's very clean. It looks good. I got interrupted a little bit back there. I'm sorry. The blade itself seems pretty sturdy. The sound quality is great. The colors are great. It does strobe and it's different effects, so I don't recommend it if you're epileptic or you're prone to seizures. But other than that, no like extreme rattle like the Saber Studio one has. I like it. Even with that issue, I do recommend it. Even if every single one of these blades had that issue, I'd still recommend it. So, there you go. Now, to the Kyber, where I was left off. Alright, so, this Kyber blade, or Kyber Saber, has a bunch of settings for $125. It's not bad. Like, I really enjoy this. I only have 2 things about this thing that I do not like. The 2 things that I don't like, the Saber that it came with is very weak and it cannot handle a lot. I actually have the blade that goes to this, on this one, on the Saber Studio one. Because I don't know if you can see it, right here. Kind of see, I don't know if you really can see it, but it dented when I was messing with it, and it does not hold up well. So I took the Saber Studio blade that I know can really take a beating and put it on the Kyber one. And this one right here is going to my 3-year-old, so I really don't care what happens to it. And he doesn't have enough strength to really damage this anyway. But I put the weak blade on the Saber Studio one, the cheap one, whatever. The other con that I have for the Kyber one, when you try to turn this thing off, when you have it on, it takes 5 seconds to turn it off. It's just a little bit of a hassle. But other than that, it has a really, really good speaker in it. It's really quality. It sounds great. It's got a bunch of settings. So the settings, you can change the light effect, the LED effect on it. Has 3 sound fonts, 1 mute mode. You can change the volume on it. You can change the color, obviously, or it's an RGB blade. It's really cool. Alright, so while it's off, you hold it for 2 seconds to change the sound font.
2, 3, 1.
Alright, to mute it, you hold it for 3 seconds. And this thing does vibrate per second that you hold it. It does have a vibration in it. So that's mute mode. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it off. Again, it takes 5 seconds to turn it off. Next, turn the sound back on. So,
2,
oh, let me go back to 1.
3, 1.
Alright. That's sound font 1. Turn it back off. 1, 2.
2,
This is your Sith Saber sound. Does have flash on flash. Turn it back off. Sound font 3.
3.
Kind of your more standard Jedi sound. Alright, so sound setting. I'm kind of doing this out of order, but while we're on sound, I figured I'd do it this. By the way, it does have a nice glowing button. Really cool. I really like it. So, to change the sound volume, you hold the button while it's on 4 seconds or 4 vibrates. 3, 4. Got quiet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to quiet. I think I'm going to keep it on quiet for now, just so I don't have to talk as loud. It does have the settings for the LEDs, so 1 click, and it just kind of pulsates. Click it again, it has a fast pulsate. This is the one where you see people on the side of the road working, or you see people at the airport guiding planes through the airfield. Then you have the standard, what I think is the more authentic Star Wars Saber effect. Just the slow in and out. I really like that. Then you have just the straight color, a little medium, then dark. Then back to that. I think for now though, I'm going to keep it on the authentic one. So, sound fonts, the mute mode, and then the volume change, the LED change. I think the next thing is the blade lockup. So you hold it for 2 vibrates and it puts it in blade lockup. Hold it for 2 seconds to take it out. Alright, so sorry I had another interruption. Let's get to the color change. So you hold it down for 3 seconds or 3 vibrates to do color change. 1, 2, 3. That's kind of the light guardian blue. 2, 3. Skywalker typical blue. 2, 3. Kind of a purplish pink. 2, 3. Light green. Kind of a silver. Magenta. Light, kind of like a salmon red. Salmon pink, I mean, my bad. And then red. Kind of a golden orange. Yellow. Green. Light blue. And back to the dark blue. So those are all the colors. This one, I think I mentioned it, I'm not sure. It takes 4 hours to charge, but it has an hour and a half life, dual time, battery life, playtime, whatever. I like it. It's mid-weight. The hilt looks pretty cool. It actually comes with this wrap when you get this. I used it. I still have it on there, but it didn't want to stay on there, so I wrapped the handle wrap with some electrical tape, and then I put some electrical tape around this just to kind of add my own little touch to it. It's not as heavy as the Saber Studio one, but it's not as light as the YDD one. So it's a very good in between. I only had those 2 complaints about it. Good speaker, good quality speaker, nice weight, very sturdy except for the blade. Good colors, has blade lockup, flash on clash. Doesn't have blaster, which that's not a bummer for me at all. Good, decent battery life. Definitely worth the $125. I do recommend this one. Out of all 3, I would have to say, though, my favorite one, just of, how easy it is to work, would definitely be the YDD. Feature-wise, this one's definitely my favorite. The weight feels good, but feature, how easy it is to scroll through things, this one looks just cooler. These 2 are definitely favorites. And then the Saber Studio. But I hope y'all liked this review. If I didn't cover something, please let me know. I would hope that I hadn't missed anything. But again, if I did, please, again, let me know. I do recommend, for the most part, I do recommend all these guys. I don't have really any issues with any of them, besides those couple of things out of each one. I wouldn't say they're, something that wouldn't make me want to buy one. They all look pretty good. They're all RGB. And, yeah. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know how I did for my first review. This is my first review, by the way. I've never done one. And I'm sorry for any lack of or loss of track of thought or whatever. I had a few interruptions in this, but y'all take it easy, stay cool, enjoy life, saber on, have fun, don't get corona, take it easy.